Hello everyone, I'm back. Let me go ahead and update you on where I'm at. All right, so one of the things that has happened is we have a 3D printer right behind me, and it has a 2 foot by 2 foot by 4 foot bed. So we're going to actually print some car parts from it. One of the things I need printed is the hood. This is a 3D model of a 63 Grand Sport Corvette, and I need to have that hood printed. So being 2 foot by 2 foot by 4 foot, should be able to print half of a hood full size in the printer. What we did, this is the very first attempt at getting a part out of it. Literally, this was right out of the box. Obviously, the settings were a little bit wrong. It's very coarse. So through trial and error, they changed the settings, and then they printed a section, half of, I guess, a quarter of the body, whatever. And it looks like this would be good enough, especially since this scale is about 1/9 scale is what we calculated based on the wheelbase of the model and the wheelbase of a real car. So by the time you multiply this up 9 times, this surface finish we have here, while it's less than ideal, it'll be good enough that we can sand it and get it smooth or use body filler. Initially, we're probably just going to make a mold out of this. So we'll make a body part, then make a mold off of the body part, or actually, now that I think about it, we may do the reverse. Go ahead and make the mold straight and fix the mold. Not sure yet, we're still experimenting with how to do that. The next thing is I came up here thinking I was going to weld our frames together. So Charlie set up the welder, his neighbor came over, he's a professional welder, so he set up the welder, and I started practicing. Come to find out, I am way out of practice. So you see these huge craters here. That's when I first started practicing. I did get better. You can see I welded all over this. Tried to use every square inch of this just to see if I could practice again. If you look here, this is the weld that his neighbor did, and it is what is referred to as stacked dimes. You can see that it looks like a bunch of dimes stacked on each other. I'm not that good of a welder. I'm just a hack at pretty much everything I do, you know, jack of all trades, master of none. So I can physically weld things together to where it gets penetration and it sticks together and it looks okay, but it does not have that stacked dime look. Unfortunately, people think that that stacked dime look indicates weld quality. Probably does to some extent, only because somebody that can do that obviously is pretty good at it. But functionally, some of these less than attractive welds would functionally work. Anyway, the decision's been made to go ahead and have him do the welding for us. I don't have an issue with that. It frees me up to do some other stuff. I'm going to continue to practice on my welding. One of the challenges I have is I am used to using welding rod that is the same size as the material. Charlie's welding rod is about half the thickness of the material. I'm going to go get some different welding rod that is the same thickness and see if that helps me to achieve a better look. I'll know, and I'll continue to practice till I get better. What else do we have? Oh, so now the next thing, since I'm not going to be welding chassis together, I'm going to be assembling the engines. Here's the 2 engines. There's one in the back covered. Here's the second one. We're making 2 Cobras, the Roadster and the Daytona Coupe. And so I have to assemble the 2 engines. I hope to have that done this week. There's our stacks that are going to go on, that are on it. Again, everything here is just set on this car. It's not bolted down. So what I'm going to do is disassemble this whole thing, and then I'm going to use, obviously, gasket sealer and assemble it correctly. I'm an ex-motorcycle mechanic. Gasket cinch is what I used on motorcycles the entire time I was working. I prefer it. Eldebrock bought it. I don't know who used to own it. So I went off and had to chase this down. If I can't use gasket sealer for some reason, I use grease. Normally I just use plain old grease. What it does is it softens the gasket and fills in some of the low spots. I have tons of grease at home. My C8 The brakes squeal horribly. It's a known issue. You can take it to the dealer, they'll fix it for free, but I really don't want to take it to the dealer and do without my C8. So instead I said, hey, I need grease. This is brake caliper grease. It'll fix that. If I have the time, I will fix that. If not, then I now have some brake caliper grease for use in the future. For the places where neither of those will work, I use silicone. Needed to get some silicone that is oxygen sensor safe. So this says it's sensor safe, RTV silicone. I know nothing about silicone sealer other than it's silicone sealer. I just did the silly thing and got the most expensive one. They're all from Permatex, so I assume that this is probably the best one. It says it's the maximum flex. Fine with me. I think that's everything. It's a lot to do, and I've had people say, hey, how in the world are you going to get all this stuff? You're overloaded, you can't do all this stuff. Well, my answer to them is, if you think I can't get this done, then you don't know jack. So go ahead, like, subscribe, hit the alert, and you'll see the updates as soon as they come. I'll see you next time. Bye.